The worst feeling ever is probably finding out that you're not who you thought you were. I went through that quite a few times, I'm not gonna lie. When I was on my summer basketball team back when I was like 15 or like in early high school or something, we would play against some teams our age and we was nice, I'm not gonna lie, but every now and then we come across a group of serious kids, like ranked in their class type shit, about to get offers from colleges soon and all that. I'm gonna be straight up, we got spanked hella times. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. Shit was humbling as hell. One of them motherfuckers dead ass windmilled on my boy. I was sitting at the top of the key praying I wasn't next. Kylian Mbappe isn't having fun right now. Unfortunately, he spent the last 3 months finding out that he is, in fact, not who he thought he was. I'm not necessarily talking about as a player here, even though he has been donkey ass, I won't lie. That Liverpool game was something different. Van Dijk and Bradley had Buddy in hell. How do you allow yourself to be put in this position? It's the move that got Chris Brown shot and stomped the yard. They made him breakdance, bruh. This is somebody's GOAT. It's his most embarrassing performance since his first El Clasico, where he jumped off sides a ridiculous 8 times. His first touch has been awful. His finishing has been terrible. He's lazy out of possession. This entire season, he's looked like a shell of himself, and you can partially attribute that to the fact that he isn't playing his preferred position, which leads me back to my point. Mbappe thought he was going to strut into the Real Madrid locker room and start throwing out orders like he was still at PSG. Unfortunately, becoming Real Madrid's Constantine is a lot more difficult than colonizing PSG. You were never just going to stroll into the club and unseat a Ballon d'Or contender who's already won the club 2 Champions Leagues in the last 3 years and is arguably the most beloved player in the organization at the moment. It's like all he was thinking about was the storyline and being Ronaldo 2.0. And then he finished signing the contract and was like, wait, where am I going to play? Now his dumb ass back to doing striker shifts. That's what you get. Shit, you ask me? He should have came to us. We would have took real good care of him, especially with Martinelli stinking up the wing half the season so far. On the other hand, he also doesn't track back or do pretty much any pressing or defending. How long would it have been before we got annoyed with him in tough games? Be honest. Either way, Mbappe just looks like an idiot now because he's complaining about not being able to play left wing, and he went to the club with the best left winger in the world. That made a lot of sense, didn't it? It's even worse because Vinny has been electric from the wing so far this season, and it's Mbappe who's wasting all the chances that Vinny creates for him. Mbappe makes it very clear he has no clue how to play striker either. There's some situations where he just stands there instead of making a run, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? He doesn't really have anybody to blame but himself. He made the decision. This is what I like to call the Sidekick Dilemma. When multiple superstars are on a team and insecurity and inferiority complex or main character struggles lead to the team falling apart. 90% of the time when there's 2 superstars on one team in any sport, one of them is clearly the Batman while the other is the Robin. Some people accept the role, some people aren't a fan of the way they're viewed. Sometimes it's not always clear who's the Batman from the level of play, but you start to notice it based on who the organization holds in higher regard. Who's more influential on decisions, who are they quicker to prioritize, who's really the main character of the squad. MJ was the Batman to Scotty's Robin. Braun was the Batman to D-Wade's Robin. Same with him and Kyrie. Henri was the Batman to Bergkamp's Robin, so was Kane and Son. Sometimes the Batman isn't even better than the Robin at the moment, but the Batman has been at the club longer and is more integral to the organization. Unfortunately, a lot of players' egos can't handle not being the main guy. It's natural, I guess. If you're a good player, of course you want to lead a team. But sometimes it's more about insecurity and resentment, often jealousy. All kinds of duos have been broken up over things like this. It was never 100% confirmed from Neymar himself, but it was reported by pretty much everybody that one of the main reasons he left was to have his own team, and he didn't want to play second fiddle to Messi anymore. There was Del Piero and Inzaghi back in the day. Their beef was hilarious to me, I'm not gonna lie, because they was hooping for a while, and then they had that situation in a game against Venezia. Whatever. So basically, Del Piero was coming back from a knee injury. It was like real serious, and it kept him out for a while. After he came back, this was like in 1999 or 2000 or so, but after he came back, he went through a little scoring drought. He was only really scoring pens and shit. So they go into this game, and late in the game, there's like 3 different moments where Inzaghi could have easily passed to Del Piero for a wide open goal or left it for Del Piero to score. You could argue 2 of those situations he should have. Would have been a good, unselfish gesture. Unfortunately, Inzaghi just wasn't going for that, and he shot each and every single time. Ended up with a hat trick, too. My son Del Piero was tight. Look at him after the second goal. He mad as hell. Anyways, that's allegedly how the story went, and they apparently didn't like each other for a while, with the main cause being Inzaghi's greediness. Inzaghi ended up being sold to Milan, and Del Piero thrived for Juventus for the rest of his career. Zlatan is probably the most glaring example of this. He came to a trouble-winning Barca team while he was off the back of a 25-goal Serie A season for Inter. Obviously, he'd expect to run the show, or at least have his position locked down, since Barca had literally traded their star striker for him. Instead, Pep moved Messi central, and it began the false nine era of his career while Zlatan was pushed to the side. Obviously, he wasn't going to be cool with that, and after just one season, he left for Milan. More often than not, superstars are going to have clashing interests, or they're going to feel away when they aren't prioritized in a team. And it's not like it's not possible for superstars to coexist on the same team. It happens fairly often, and it can work out. You just need a combination of a lack of ego and big personalities and players whose play styles don't directly clash. The Warriors already had 3 All-Stars before adding KD, and he fit into their team seamlessly. That's honestly one of the most overpowered teams in the history of sports, and they lasted 3 years before their egos began to clash a little too much and it finally fell apart. More often than not, though, big personalities are not going to be cool with playing second fiddle. Neymar knew it would be almost impossible to outshine Messi while playing on the same team as him, even with Messi's promises of helping him win the Ballon d'Or. It was natural for Messi to get more of the recognition and attention, because at the end of the day, he wasn't going to lower his level of skill just to make Neymar look better. The best he could do was give him a few more passes. Steph being willing to take a back seat and let KD cook sometimes so that they could basically be unbeatable isn't common. KD taking pay cuts to stay also wasn't common. There was unselfishness on both sides that allowed that team to exist for that long. For comparison, Russ and Harden lasted 1 season before Russ dipped off because he wanted to be able to play his heliocentric game and because he felt like he wasn't being treated like a star. Playing with another superstar for the first time in your career will give you a reality check. And right now, Mbappe is getting that reality check. He's not the main man at Madrid. Vinny Jr. is. He isn't going to play left wing either. Vinny Jr. is. And right now, he isn't viewed as the player he was viewed as a couple years ago. He's viewed as a failure. So yeah, he's the sidekick at the moment. And he's not even a Dick Grayson Robin. He's a Tim Drake. And maybe he needs to learn to be cool with that before things actually get better. Right now, he's probably forcing it, doing too much to prove he's the Mbappe that deserves to be the main guy. Trying too hard to outshine the people around him because he knows he has to make an impression. When Messi and Neymar were at PSG with him, they were actually willing to step back and let him be the main superstar at the moment. I feel like he thought everybody at Madrid was going to be a Messi, and that just isn't the case. So now he's doing the most to make a point, and even when he got his chance at left wing against Liverpool, he made a mess of it because he's overthinking everything. Watching an inferiority complex in action on a football field is hilarious because you notice little things that you usually wouldn't notice. Shout out to all the superstars that coexisted in harmony for years without all the toxicity, because when it comes to big personalities, that's pretty rare. What would y'all say was y'all favorite superstar duo that didn't work out? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll catch y'all later.